Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining our beautiful new space. Yes, we're still reveling in our gorgeous new studio. But of course, it is tax season and it's ramped up significantly this week. Since its inception 10 years ago, the Office of the Tax Ombud has helped improve the South African tax administration system by protecting taxpayer rights and promoting tax compliance. They have been a massive, massive help in our corner. And as a taxpayer, you have rights in this country. And the team at OTO want to equip you with the relevant tax knowledge and power to exercise those rights. We've got to empower ourselves here. And joining me this morning is Ms. Yanga Mputa, the Tax Ombud. Thank you so much for being here. It's always strange for me, someone who plays in your space where the stakes are so high and it's so hectic. When you step into our world, I would think this would be less tense, but I know this is outside your comfort zone, so thank you so much for being here, Yanga. Maybe a good place to start is with your amazing organization and how you help to promote the taxpayer, our rights. What role do you play?
First of all, good morning to you and good morning to the viewers. This is a very refreshing space.
Thank
it's not
you.
like the courtroom whereby you see the lot of plants.
That's what we were going for, to be the opposite of a courtroom. Yes, we've done it. Wow. I love it.
Yes, I think the importance of taxpayer rights came after the Constitution, whereby there was a Constitution in 1996 and they came with the Bill of Rights. So from there, it was important that the taxpayer legislation must include the Bill of Rights for taxpayers.
Yeah.
So changes were made in the tax legislation to accommodate that. So after that, the Office of the Tax Ombuds was formed in 2013. So now you've got the Bill of Rights, which is the Constitution, you've got the tax legislation. And then South Africa follows a self-assessment system, which is a voluntary compliance, whereby you have to submit your tax return to SARS. So meaning that your rights are important to know what is it that you need to write, what is it that you need to submit, and after assessment, what is it that you can say to SARS. That's where the importance of it.
I love that you pointed that out, because I think so often, I've been through various tax journeys in my life, starting because I started out business really young.
Yeah.
I've had to learn some hard lessons. I've also learned that SARS is our friend. As much as it often feels like you're positioned against one another, we are all working towards the same unified goal. And I would imagine you have to work with them. But there is this fear that SARS is the final word, and when they come down on you, it's terrifying. How do you guys work with SARS when you need to resolve something? Is SARS word final?
SARS word cannot be final. In South Africa, it's the court's word that is final.
The law is final.
The law is final, and the judgment by our courts is final. So when taxpayers come with their complaints to us, we make recommendations to SARS. So far, SARS has implemented about 98% of our recommendations.
Wow.
So meaning that we've got a working relationship with SARS and our recommendations are sound.
I love that. So how have you built that relationship? Because initially it must have been antagonistic. Just the creation of this kind of watchdog space must have been a little bit terrifying for a lot of people within that SARS space, but we are again working towards the same goal. How have you built that relationship? Because ultimately we are working together. Even a taxpayer is on the same team.
I think SARS is a very mature organization to understand that the same goal is the improved tax administration, tax compliance, and revenue collection for the fiscus. So once you have that one goal, whatever institution that is doing, as long as you are working towards one goal, it becomes better.
That true north. I think it starts so often, and I speak from my own personal experience, where I've fallen short has been a lack of education, maybe not having the right person in my corner.
Yes.
How important is literacy in this space, and what are you doing as an organization? Because it feels like that's ultimately your true north. Your goal is to empower as many South African taxpayers as possible. How do we educate and how do we raise the average so that everyone rises together?
Okay. The taxpayer, SARS has got a unit called taxpayer education, whereby they are doing this. In terms of our mandate, you can only do tax education as far as our mandate of the tax ombuds. And so far, we are going to the malls. Because we are going to Canal Walk now for the weekend. In August, we're in Four Ways Mall. Last week, we were in East London. So we do education in terms of our mandate. But the nice thing is that when we do those things, we collaborate with SARS, so that if taxpayers have got questions, then SARS is available to respond.
The path of least resistance. I love this. When we start working together, helping each other along, suddenly it becomes so much better for the end user. And this is all about the taxpayer ultimately. Yes, I know collectively we make up this country, but as individuals, we are being empowered. I'll round this off, maybe a call to action. If you could see an improvement, a step forward that's needed in this space, maybe it's on the administrative side, maybe it's legislature, what would you like to see happen in this next phase of South Africa's journey? Because I think we are approaching a new phase of abundance. What would you like to see shift?
The things that we have been criticized of as the office is that we are not structurally independent from SARS.
Okay.
That has come true during our parliamentary hearings for the annual report last week. So what we want, because if taxpayers think that we are not independent from SARS, then there's going to be perceived biasness and lack of trust. So we want to instill to taxpayers that we are functionally independent from SARS, but even though we share SARS IT and security and support services, but we are functionally independent from SARS. But moving forward, we will be doing the issue of structural independence in a cost-effective manner. And also, we want to be the beacon of hope for taxpayers and increase our footprint in the Republic of South Africa.
And you've been doing it. You've got 10 years plus of trust that you've built, and I think that's the most important commodity of the current world right now. I can understand why your organization is so successful at what you do, just looking at you and getting the way you've been able to explain to me these very complex, big things in a way that makes me feel empowered. I get it. So thank you so much for your service. And yeah, hopefully we will see these progressions take hold at the very base level. We absolutely love what you represent. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the viewers can go to the Canal Walk. We are there. We can be able to answer some of their problems.
I think most of those problems. I have a feeling to use the O2O's free and impartial services. They are a separate entity for any tax complaints with SARS. You can visit taxombud.gov.za. They are there in your corner.